Alright, we're now done with our Harbor Freight and Home Depot runs, respectively. So let's get this show back on the road and we'll continue where we left off. So after everything's talked about how I managed to acquire this car, why I wanted one, etc., etc., we're now at the point where it's been completely sorted. I daily drive it. And what are my thoughts and how is that? So I love driving this thing daily. So remember originally I had one car, the 92 Shadow ES, until I was 18. Bought my 84 Corvette, drove that thing for many years, 9 years, I think. And it was my only car for about 6 or 7 years. And I remembered I always wanted a Chrysler Crossfire, so I bought one of those once I got hired on at the sheriff's office and I could finally afford one. And that was my kind of specialty car. I didn't drive it that much. It was the, Sunday drive around car. But people loved it, and I loved it. But it didn't have a V8 and it wasn't a stick, so I ended up trading it for the Camaro. And then I daily drove then I bought the red Corvette, the 93 Corvette. And then, so that became the daily driver. My 84 Corvette was kind of the spare, and then my Camaro that I bought brand new in 2010, that was my, weekend, nice weather kind of car. And then sold the 84, so I only had the two cars. The red Vet that I daily drove for years, till 2017 when I bought the BMW. And that quickly became the daily driver. Now, it's not as fast as the Corvette. Right, the Corvette will blow the doors off this thing. But this thing's pretty quick for what it is. I mean, 283 or 289 horsepower, I believe, is what these 4.4s put out. Somewhere around there. So, pretty substantial amount of power. They'll get out of their own way for sure. And having driven the Crown Vic for the last month or however long I let this thing sit until I got around to doing the belts and the pulleys and the O2 sensor. I definitely missed it because the Crown Vic rides about as well as the Corvette does, which is you feel every single bump. Now, when I first moved to the city, and having driven Corvettes all my life, I was just used to how that's how they drove. Everybody got in the car complained about, it's hard to get in and out of, and rides like shit. I was like, it rides fine to me. Well, that's what I thought until I got the Camaro, and I'm like, man, this thing rides great compared to the Vet, especially hitting these bumps in the city. Well, I thought that was good until I got this thing, and then with its horrendous suspension, I was like, God, this thing rides worse than the Vet. I thought these things were supposed to ride great. Well, once I got the suspension sorted, this thing rides amazing. Like, there's bumps in the city that I don't even know they're there until I drive the Corvette or the BMW, or I mean the Crown Vic. And then it's like, bang, boom. I mean, you feel every bump, and it jolts the car, and it makes loud noises, and I'm like, man, there's bumps there? And I'm like, I didn't know there was a bump there. I'm used to driving the BMW. And then I'm like, well, maybe that bump just formed. And then I go back to driving this thing, I'm like, oh no, it didn't just form. You don't feel the bumps when it's completely sorted. And I've just been so now used to memory seats, power seats, climate control. It's got stability control, traction control. It's got all the things that like the Camaro has. The Camaro is a modern car. This thing had all that stuff in 2000. This was made in 99. This is a May of 99 car for the 2000 model year. But it rides just great, just fantastic. I can't explain. I mean, you really have to drive it to understand. It's true luxury, even 20 years old. It has 226,000 miles on it, but I daily drive this thing. I drive to work every day, unless I decide to drive the Crown Vic for a while. And that's a fun little car too. It's kind of nice to, you know, let it hit some bumps for a while, so this thing, you know, gets a little bit of a break. But I love driving. Once I get back into it, man, I mean, you feel like you're king of the road. Like, this is how Bond felt when he was driving this, I can imagine. This is how I feel. So I love it. I think it's a fantastic driving car. I would recommend getting one if you do, like I mentioned in the previous video about owning one this old, if you know how to work on your own car and you can do all the work yourself. You know, there's no reason not to have one. And you will be rewarded by a very rich driving experience. You don't feel the bumps, you know, and people who know this car, they know it. I get compliments on it all the time. They're like, hey man, that's the James Bond car, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, it sure is. I'm like, nice. And then I get other people wanting to buy it. Some dude came up to me the other day, and he was like, hey, that's your BMW out there, right? And I'm like, yeah, it sure is. He's like, you want to sell it? And I go, nope, sure don't. I love that car. Love it. Wouldn't sell it for anything. He's like, I gave you 15 grand for it. I was like, nope. Now I only pay 25 hundo. I considered it for a brief moment. I was like, you know what? I could take that 15 grand, buy another one of these, and rebuild it for on the cheap. But it might not be as good as mine. Might not be as sorted, you know? And we can't run that risk. Can't run the risk. So I'm keeping it. And even the wife, when she occasionally borrows it, like her car breaks or something, or I'm doing work on it, so I'll let her drive me down. That's why I bought the Crown Vic, by the way, just because whenever I've become so used to a big luxury car now that when hers breaks and she has to borrow this because she doesn't like driving the Vet, and she can't drive the Camaro because it's a stick, I have to give her this, and then what am I stuck driving? Well, her Neon or the Vet. And it's like, I don't like driving the Vet really that much anymore. It's hard to get in and out of, especially when you're wearing your duty belt and everything, or your bulletproof vest. It's hard to get in and out of. This is much easier. And so I bought the Crown Vic. So I was like, old police car, they're easy to get in and out of. It's big, so it should absorb bumps well. No, it does not. Even with the brand new suspension I put on that thing, it still rides like shit. It rides like a sled. It rides like the Vet. You know, this BMW knew what they were doing when they made the suspension on this. It rides legit luxury. So I bought that big car for that, but so now that I know how that thing rides, and there is no making it ride better, whenever her Neon breaks, she'll be getting the Crown Vic as her daily until it gets fixed, and then I will continue driving this because I love driving it. Like, your road rage level goes down, like, because I get pretty mad at people in traffic in the Vet or the Camaro, you know, equally just as much. And you can dart in and out of traffic pretty easily in the Corvette because you got so much visibility, it's small and agile, and it's fast. So, I mean, you can just zip, zip, zip. There's a lot of blind spots in the Camaro, so you can't, I mean, you got muscle and power to get out of your way or anybody else's and just muscle past everyone. But, you know, you got to look and then make a decision and then shift, and you don't have to do any of that with this car. I mean, I'm in no hurry to get anywhere with this thing. I could sit in this thing all day. I could drive this thing cross country. Not only would it make it, because I'm confident that it's mechanically sound, but I would feel refreshed after the drive. Like, I felt fine after that long 5-hour drive to Kentucky and then the 5-hour drive back in this thing. I wasn't tired. And that was with a bad suspension. With this good suspension, hell, I could drive this thing all day. So I recommend it to anyone who's mechanically inclined. And if you get one that's already sorted, well, you don't have to worry about that. But if you want to save money, buy one of these like I did that's for like pennies on the dollar. It's got like a bad suspension. Just do the suspension yourself. I did a YouTube videos on it. If you want to know how to fix it, they're up there. And any problem you conceivably run into, I ran into it, so I'll show you how to fix it. So, and now I got the AC recharged like I did yesterday. Yeah, it's back to the way it was, man. I love driving this thing. We just got to do a little bit of body work on it after the fella smashed into it and broke it. So we still have to do that, and that'll be coming up here once I get a little bit of suspension work done on the Crown Vic. I get the hardwire stuff done on it. We're going to do body work on this thing, so it'll be out of commission for a minute. But no, I can't wait to get back to driving it once I get that taken care of. It'll look pristine again. Like I said, even the wife, there's people who are like, hey man, that's a really nice car. My wife's like, thanks, it's my husband's. And he's like, man, he took really good care of it. She's like, yeah, he bought it a little while back and restored it. He's like, man, it's an awesome looking car. And it is. It's a beautiful car. I love the way it looks. I love the way it rides. I love the way it drives. It's got more than enough power. You know, if you're on the fence about one of these things, just buy it. There's no reason not to. Yeah, it's 99 degrees out today. 100 degrees, and I feel nice and cool in here. But that's it for our drive. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Yeah, got any other questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll answer them. If you want me to do any other videos like this or talk about something else, I can do that too. This is my first kind of vlog video, driving and talking at the same time. But I thought this would be the car to do it on, because I know my e38 videos do get a lot more views. And, you know, I'm happy to talk about the car. I love driving it. Can't say anything bad about it. So, I'll leave it with that. Thanks for watching, boys. Peace.